second phone, no enough memory, if I see. But when the other he sends, like there's, I said that there's because that's when often I was in church, so also about like spirits or some other sort of manipulations, just deep fakes to manipulate somebody that I'm some devil person or evil or whatever. If it's depending if the person is also in the church, if in Poland, if that, for example, in Poland I was or there in Netherlands in some church, then the person is strongly believing, then they're gonna say that I have evil spirits and show video when I'm saying some satanist ritual or something, or trying to convince about it, and say that others say that it's true, like some other paid manipulator, for example, gonna say that yes, I saw that he has evil spirits, he's praying to Satan or something. Or other way, if somebody gonna think or about this, it sounds very crazy, and that's also other part, like gaslighting. It's similar. Some also happens, depends what some psychopaths and the sadists wants to achieve. And other things, he's like narcoman, or he's some sadist, for example, attacking others, or he's some rapist, for example, raping kids and going to kindergarten or whatever, and raping kids or raping animals or hurting them, and other sort of things which are about to brainwash the potential victim. And for example, giving instruction, if the person is up to because got brainwashed, it's up to do evil things without confronting it. They like find the person as the person who's gonna agree for such things and gonna be able to hurt me, for example. So then they give instructions, like can give some substances like some poison or other things, instruct how to manage it, how to do it, and the purpose is basically to cut me off completely from source of clean water, of liquids, which are obviously necessary and must have in case of detoxing, especially when I'm so constantly poisoned, I have to drink so much more. Then that's the purpose, to cut off the access of liquids and cut off the access of food and of just any food and of liquids. So I'm gonna get worse, and I'm gonna have to go and try to find out solution to not starve or not die from dehydration, because I cannot like use the tap in the public toilet because it's gonna be wiped. I cannot go to grocery myself. I cannot do other such things. So, and that's like the major purpose of it, to cut off and basic things, and then be able to manipulate that. That's also why like for example, the people says that this guy is that's okay, just to finish it. It makes no sense, but whatever. So just finish this recording, but as I said, that's the major purpose, just cut off from any source of food or drink. Also, so I cannot, or they gonna manipulate others, or people gonna ask or think, oh, is he crazy? Because, for example, he's walking with his bags or walking with his stuff often when he's going somewhere. In practice, I'm just doing it to prevent somebody from taking it, poisoning, or doing other things, or wiping it with certain substances. Similar things with the clothes, why I don't change it often. Then the manipulators can say to others that he's just ugly, dirty person, which homeless, which don't change the clothes. In practice, the every clothes is getting wiped. If I leave something, then they're getting wiped with the substances like neurotoxins or some psychoactive substances or other which can go through the skin. My body is much more weaker after this a lot of years of constant poisoning. My insides and everything is much weaker. So this sort of thing influence me much more and is much more harmful for me. For others it's less noticeable, and that's why it's made in the way of so the others not gonna notice so much, and if gonna notice then don't have contact with me or cannot confront it, or gonna get blackmailed, or yeah, and, this sort of thing. Yeah, so that's about it, and that's also why currently the often situation happens like I'm questioned, okay, why I like drink so much, or why I like don't change clothes, or why I take these things with me, or why I don't do this, or don't yeah, the other things, right? Just to trick somebody into thinking that the victim is evil person by spreading deepfakes, but wiping certain things even can be tools, or even other example like wiping cleaning tools. When like wiping cleaning tools, so I cannot use them to when I like touch certain tool or thing, then I'm getting feeling worse, much worse, because of my very weak condition. So and it looks as I don't want to help somebody or something when I want, and although even I feel worse, I do this anyway, and I feel worse, I just clean stuff with some tool, which is wipe, and then the manipulator says that, oh, like this is he's like lazy, or he's ugly, he's not changing clothes and other things, and yeah, and yeah, what else? Like about yeah, yeah, so that's about the yeah, okay, so I said, yeah, about the tricking, like how it looks, yeah, that people are tricking into cutting access to any sort of food links to in such way, then recording everything like literally 24/7, basically gathering all the information just to track, to prevent from doing. So basically, like almost every action I have to try to work very hard to do something which can be not noticed, because otherwise like everything is trying to be recorded, to be then analyzed and whatever. Yeah, so that's about it, right? About these tools, and like for example of cleaning tools, or other things, or food, and yeah, and or other examples like in the work when before, like also in Poland when I was like working that in pizzeria, there was also that's one of the example, the manager which agreed like to wipe with some evaporating substance left outside, so I would breathe it, I would feel worse, and anyway I was like constantly, although like in this or other place, when other like some coworker for example were poisoning me in other gastronomy restaurant, I was just doing my job, like working, preparing food and stuff like this, although I felt terrible, and when I puked, when I constantly had to go to the toilet, like each day felt terrible, because like part of people were involved, of my coworkers, colleagues for example, and the rest of them weren't. These which were considered to be more empathic, and actually which talked with me and wouldn't agree for unethical thing were not, but these which never talked with me or were some ugly deviant sadist or whatever were involved more, and were given them instructions like to poison me. So then I was getting poisoned, feeling terrible. And when I, for example, puked or seated on the toilet, that's one of the examples of also how it works, and constantly and currently, I mean, if then for example I was like sitting in toilet for like hours, and then somebody of manipulator came to the manager or some other manager, some other restaurant, know what I'm saying, and said that, oh, I saw him taking drugs, or I thought that I saw in his bag something strange, and I think these were drugs or something. So the manager, somebody who like somebody who's about to get manipulated, gonna get manipulated, that okay, so he's lazy addicted person which now takes the drug in toilet, when in practice I'm puking because I'm got poisoned, as I'm getting poisoned constantly through a lot of days, for example, or weeks or months, when I'm doing the job properly as I'm supposed to do, although others record me constantly and makes me suffer in a lot of ways. And then after it, they gather recordings of it which they monetize of me suffering, and with the same recordings they make deepfakes and make it to show as, for example, I'm the ugly, lazy, deviant or sadist or whatever, and or addicted or whatever it is, and to show it, to show it to other group which is about to get manipulated. So potential people which were about to help but don't know the truth and stuff like this, to just manipulate them. So that's one of the examples of from Poland with the restaurants. In the Netherlands I also worked like in the warehouse, and there was the same situation when I was like outside from the room when I was leaving there. They were also wiping stuff, or like clothes, other things, poisoning food, drinks, and doing the rest. And after and when I was in the work, there were similar things. So I felt terrible. So I like wiping my tools I had, or my gloves I had to work, because in warehouse you wear, so like, you know, gloves or airpads you put into the air, like obviously wiping, because these are mine, so I gonna use them. So so then I gonna feel much worse, and very, like now I feel, for example, terrible. So I gonna feel very terrible, and then somebody which sees that, oh, this person is feeling terrible, and for example I know, okay, I cannot drink the water because it's poison, so I ask, oh, hey, do you have water? Maybe I can pay you, let's say, €2 for the bottle of water because you brought to work, and can I have it? And then he gonna think, oh, because other person before probably came and spreaded some fakes about me, gonna think, no, you don't. And okay, so I just gonna go away, and the person thinks, oh, so he just tried to beg me for water. Why he wanted to give me €2? The person not gonna think, just gonna think, oh, just that's just some crazy person which asks me, for example, for water, when in practice that's innocent guy which is getting poisoned, tricked into, and just feels terrible and don't have access to any clean liquids or foods. Yeah, I'm just saying, I just cannot focus well, but yeah, I don't know if it even makes sense, this recording at all, because there's like, I covered like less than 1% of everything, like definitely less than 1% of things I should cover. But I hope it's at least any how it works, and yeah, that's yeah. So just like this, I would say, right? In the beginning, it was in the family house, did in this way, when the sadistic psychopath father and like brother was not involved. He was also sadistic, but not like opposite in the way of character of me, but not involved in terms of doing this. That's like just hurting animals or others for his own satisfaction. The father was also earning money from it and building it up, and then later the and mother, which was like also part of victim, which was helping a lot, but she was also like helping father in gathering recordings because she was invalid, so she just like lied and watched recordings which he could select and make deep fakes from certain ones, and which later helped to build up this more. And after this, yeah, there was the situations like when I was living in the hostels or rented the flat, and this sort of thing happened, and these examples when it was bigger and grew more, because also the intentions was the same as in the family house, to keep the controlling, to record constantly, to poison. So basically if I have some place when I can stay, there they like their rules of the sadists are to so they put like the hidden cameras to be able all the time to monitor and to make this sadistic content, and to this tool to spray the toxic substances, or to make me asleep, or to some psychoactive substances or neurotoxins, and to different purposes. And so like to every place since this a lot of years, or maybe even my childhood, when I was for few days or longer in one place constantly, I can say that it was recorded by the cameras, and I was getting poisoned, and they had like control on it, because that's always how it's made when I'm like somewhere in some place. When I'm outside, for example, when I was in the work, they could come, and during these few hours, like let's say 10 hours, when I was like working, let's say 1 month, there was time in the pizzeria for like 10 hours each day, and then each day just 10 hours of when I was outside could do anything. And that's how it works also with others, because I'm not only victim, which they use such practice on. I mean about like recording or inserting some cameras, or as I said about spreading malwares. It's much more wide, and I'm just a like major victim of this, of everything which is based, and some other victims can be like in the other way, because somebody agreed to hurt me, and then he's getting blackmailed because they have something on him, or other sort of things. Yeah, but I'm the major victim in this situation, and yeah, I would say, because it's based like only on me, some other people, and animals, which are just the other part, because such people like my father or others also just entrap, rape, and hurt animals because they are just crazy, and they just the same as with the but with me it's more that they just like my father basically came with idea that he can do it on the human, also on his own child, because he has like a lot of things on, because his father can control much easier, and then just build it up, involved neighbors, manipulated towards always the manipulations made to the brainwashed person not confront the truth and reality with me as the victim of such situation. And then the neighbors or the co-workers, colleagues are like wiping the tools, the clothes, everything. So then put me in the black light, and put that I'm this, that, and so somebody who don't know how big and how imaginable scale it is gonna believe in it, because that's gonna be the most logical explanation if the person didn't confront it with me, for example, or don't know the scale of it, because basically the whole it bases on how abstract and how big the scale of this is, that it's possible to cut the victim of completely the clean of not poisoned liquids and food, and to wipe like tools, certain stuffs, or for example try to not be able, like in Netherlands, and that's also an example, like I cannot like make the PSN number although I'm long time there, and I cannot make it because I was like few times in The Hague. Now I'm in Utrecht. And I was like taking trains, but they were like cancelled, or for example they didn't arrive always, or for example when I was like taking bus or something, there were very long traffics, and for like 1 hour there were even situations when the bus, instead of 10 minutes, traveled 1 hour when I had to get to some point, for example when there was like appointment or something, or somebody attacked me outside and beat it, and then I like was in very bad condition. I had also a lot of times like broken legs, hands, like also nose, or just some head injuries and other things. Also in Poland I made like hundreds, literally hundreds of recording of this pathological situation, when in Poland I was like a long time ago, a lot of months ago. I'm in the Netherlands, and yeah. Yeah, so that's about it, like shortly, and I have to look because I probably don't feel too weak. Yeah, but basically, also to make it clear, it's like more that it's more that about this, or maybe I'll just stop and then next one because it's already over 50 minutes.